How do you choose the best index funds? If you're serious about this, let's get this started. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Let's Talk Finances. If this is your first time here, my name is Trey, and on this channel, we like to give you all of the relative information that you need to spearhead your journey in becoming debt-free and investing your way into millionaire status. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, let's go ahead and get that journey started right now by subscribing to this channel. If you stay tuned until the end of the video, I'm going to be giving you 3 funds for July of 2021 that are absolutely crushing the market right now, all right? So be sure to watch this video until the end. If investing is something that you really want to get into, you found the right channel and you found the right video, because today we're going to be going over how to choose the best index funds, all right? So without any further ado, let's get this started. 5 things that you need to do to choose the right index funds. Number 1. The first thing that you need to do is research. I started off making these mistakes, and so have a multitude of other individuals, and I'm here to help you not make the same mistakes. The first thing you need to do is research. Now, I know that goes without saying, because you're like, hey Trey, if I'm watching this video, I'm obviously researching. I get that, and I appreciate you watching. However, what I want you to be careful of is making your decision just solely based off of speaking to one individual. And I'll give you an example of that. You might speak with one person who says, hey, I have 8 funds in my portfolio. I'm going for growth. So that means I've invested heavily into the technology sector. That might work great for them. And what they also might not tell you along with that, how disastrous it was for them. What you need to be doing is reading books, looking at websites, watching videos like this one on my channel, speaking to friends who have already got into investing, or joining some Facebook groups like the Let's Talk Fire Facebook group. So number 1, research is the most important thing. If you don't arm yourself with the proper information to pick these index funds, you're starting off on the incorrect foot, all right? So obviously, what you need to be doing is researching your way into that millionaire status. The second thing that you need to be doing in order to choose the correct index funds, and that is start with the type of investment that you need to be investing in to diversify your portfolio. If you're looking at investing, and let's say you want to start investing in growth funds, in order to start investing in those growth funds, well, you know that you need to be investing in stocks. However, to the contrary, if you need stability, then bonds would be something that you need to be taking into consideration. Let's say that you already have both stocks as well as bonds. Now you need to be playing the balance game. You need to be adding some things into your portfolio that's going to balance out the ride. So for instance, you need some US stocks, possibly some foreign stocks, but more importantly, diversification by small, mid, as well as large caps. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, in this video, Investing for Beginners, I actually went over step by step what you need to do to get off on the right foot. So be sure to watch that video after this one. You need to assess how much volatility you're willing to accept. Once you choose your risk factor, then you're going to be going into choosing either your stocks or your bonds or what have you. Just ensure that you do some relative research. And then secondly, decide what investments that you need for your portfolio that meets your investment strategy. Do what works best for you. And how do you find that out? You need to do some research. Decide whether you're in this for long-term investing, whether you're trying to invest because you have a very important purchase that's coming up. Let's say you're trying to purchase a car or a house and you need funds available right then and there. Decide why you're investing and then choose the investments that mirror your investment strategy. To give you an example, I am a long-term investor. My investment strategy is to invest so that 20 to 30 years from today, I have millions and millions of dollars that I'll be passing down to my children so that they can have things better than I did when I was a child. And that's not to say that my parents didn't do a great job, but the truth is they were financially illiterate. They did the best that they could, but they just didn't have the relative information available to them to make the correct financial decisions. So I want to ensure that my children don't have those complications and that they start off on the right foot. The third thing, decide whether you want to start investing in a mutual fund or an exchange traded fund. Now, without going too far in depth on this, because I don't want to confuse anyone, people will often ask, hey, what's the difference and which one is better between an index fund and an exchange traded fund? If you're looking at, say, investing in a total stock market index fund, VTSAX versus its exchange traded fund equivalent, VTI, there really are no differences regarding its actual investment. The returns are the same. Generally, the expense ratios would be the same, or it might be like 0.01% difference, which is very minimal. But for the most part, the investment in itself is the same. Where it becomes a little bit different is its tax efficiency and also when throughout the day you can sell or buy it. Questions you should be asking yourself, am I going to be buying and selling a lot? If so, an exchange traded fund is something that you want to be looking at. Is it important for me to auto invest every month $500 without having to go into it and match how much the share costs to how much I want to buy? If that's the case, then the actual index mutual fund is something that might better suit you. The next question you should be asking yourself is, are you going to be funding a taxable account or an IRA? For tax efficiency purposes, you may want to fund your taxable account with an exchange traded fund. However, you won't be doing anything wrong or bad by putting an actual index mutual fund into your taxable account. But these are questions that you should be asking yourself when deciding whether you want to invest in a mutual fund or an exchange traded fund. Number 4, you actually need to choose which index you want to track. Now, if you're not sure as to what I'm talking about, when I say index, I'm speaking about benchmark. Choosing your benchmark is choosing the foundation of your portfolio. When we relate this over to, say, building a home, we know that in order to build that house, the foundation would be one of the most important things to ensure that that house lasts for years and years. And it's the same thing when we're talking about choosing a benchmark, all right? And there are tons and tons of different benchmarks, but to name a few, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the Lipper indexes, the Russell 1000, the Wilshire 5000, the CRSP. However, 3 of the more popular ones are going to be the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the CRSP. The S&P 500 would be something like VFIAX. The CRSP would be Total Stock Market Index Fund. So you can see how these benchmarks actually correlate over to the funds that you're going to choose. The reason that this is so important is depending upon which benchmark it is that you want to begin investing in, is going to detail and entail which funds you invest in. As you all know, I am a huge proponent for investing in a total stock market index fund. And if that's something that you're interested in, then you know you want to choose the CRSP benchmark, because that is the benchmark that that particular fund is trying to mirror. So another thing that's going to be associated with choosing that benchmark, decide whether you want to be an active or passive investor. And if you want more information on that, in this video, I actually went over that to decide, okay? Know that if you decide to be an active investor, those expenses are going to be a bit higher because someone is managing that fund for you. If you're going to be doing passive investing, know that the expenses are going to be relatively lower because nobody's managing that fund for you. The 5th and final thing that you need to be doing in order to choose the correct and best index funds, choosing the correct fund. If you've taken all of these steps, the necessary precautions to bring you to step 5, now you're ready to choose your correct fund. The 2 pieces of advice that I would give you when you're going to choose your fund is, number 1, take your time. You don't need to be in a rush to choose funds. You've already decided that you want to start investing, so the only thing you need to do now is choose your investment. So whether that be a total stock market index fund, an S&P 500 index fund, a growth index fund, there are a lot to choose, but again, stay tuned until the end of the video because I'll be giving you 3 that are absolutely killing the market right now. But take your time. When you're dealing with money, your finances, you don't want to rush into a decision that could end up having severe ramifications. You want to take your time and choose the correct fund. The second piece of advice that I would give you, keep your portfolio simple to begin with. After you've become a little seasoned and you've been investing for a while, you can actually start adding more funds into your portfolio. But initially, to begin with, the simpler, the better. As a matter of fact, I would even say for a seasoned investor like myself, simpler is better. If you want more information as to how to put funds into your portfolio to build the ideal portfolio, I went over it in this video, so be sure to check that one out after this one. Now that we're talking about choosing index funds, as promised, let's go into 3 funds that are currently crushing the game right now. Fund number 1, Fidelity's Zero Large Cap Index Fund. This is one of Fidelity's staples currently. It's an index fund that does not have any expenses. Ticker symbol is FNILX. Its current year-to-date returns are 14.42%, which is a bit above the average, which is about 11 to 12% right now. Its yield is 1.05%, and obviously its expense ratios are 0. Now, if you're looking into investing in Fidelity funds and you want a more concrete breakdown of the funds that you should be looking at, in this video I went over that, so be sure to check that one out after this one, all right? Fund number 2, and that would be Vanguard's S&P 500 Exchange Traded Fund. Ticker symbol VOO. This one is what I would consider to be the OG of the game. Its current year-to-date returns are 15.91%. Its expense ratio is 0.03%, and its yield is 1.34%. The last and final fund that is crushing the game right now in July of 2021, and that would be the SPDR S&P 500 ETF. Ticker symbol SPY. This is also an OG of the game. It's been around for years. Its current year-to-date returns are 15.87%. Its expense ratio was 0.09%, and its yield is 1.30%. All 3 of these funds are great funds to put into your portfolio as a core holding. If you found this video to be insightful in any way, please smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well so that you don't miss any other content just like this one. I would greatly appreciate your support. As always, I would like to thank the men and women of this country who have served and who continue to serve. I greatly appreciate you all. Keep killing it. So, until the next video, guys, let's talk finances then.